Hi guys, usual 10:30 embargo please this evening. Show of hands for the microphones.
Good afternoon, Pep. It's been a busy couple of weeks, obviously 2 weeks as well since Mikel Arteta left. I just wondered how much you've missed kind of having him around and his impact and what he brought to the team.
Well, good morning. We have already readjusted our routine day by day, the way to work, and now he's a manager from Arsenal.
As it stands, Fernandinho's contract expires at the end of the season. Can you bring us up to speed on where you are with extending that?
No, it's a cheeky issue. It's not my issue.
But you'd like him to stay, I would imagine, next year, would you?
Of course.
And you're confident that will happen?
A lot. I'm so confident and so delighted about these 3 years and a half together.
It looks like Giovanni Van Bronckhorst is going to take a manager's job in China. I know he's been around here a little bit over the last few months. Can you give us a bit of an insight into what he was doing here and how much interaction you had with him and that kind of thing?
You write and talk a lot about that, so you have to ask your colleagues, not me. So
did you see much of him?
I saw him twice, yeah. That's all.
And you just discussed the team, the group, that sort of thing?
No.
Or no? Okay. And
you know better than me. You wrote a lot of things about him, about what happened here. So you have to ask the guys who write, not myself.
Well, I don't. That's why I was asking you, Pep. I thought you might give me an insight.
No, because you asked me questions, but you talk about that in the past. We didn't talk. I didn't talk. The club didn't talk. So you suggest, so talk with the people who suggest these kind of things, not us.
Okay. This year in the Premier League, you've already lost more games by this point than you have in either of the previous 2 seasons. Yet you've scored more goals than everyone else this year as well. I know you've spoken a lot about not being clinical enough. I mean, is that the only problem? There's been other issues, or how do you see it?
No, the game was the way we played. It was quite similar, and of course we lost games, maybe more than expected, but after 2 seasons winning, it's normal that can happen. But in general, the way we played was good.
Pep, how do you approach cup ties like this against opposition who perhaps come to the Etihad with nothing to lose?
Oh, sorry?
How do you approach games like tomorrow's with, teams that come to the Etihad with nothing to lose?
No cut game, and everything can happen. Of course, we play at home. It's a little advantage, especially in this schedule that is with incredible amount of games. To don't travel and play at home is a big advantage.
Do you think that the cup competitions that you're still in will help keep your side focused this season?
We were focused in the previous seasons too. It would not be possible to win 2 Carabaos in a row or the cup last season. We were not focused in the Cups and the Premier League and so on. I said many times, we try to play every game seriously and give a lot of importance no matter the competition we are playing.
So it doesn't change mentally if your side are not perhaps looking like they're going to achieve the goal that you set out to? That doesn't change the mentality in the players?
I think the mentality, when you see the last, for example, 3 games in the toughest periods of the season, against Wolves, against Sheffield, and the last one was more than better.
Pep, Simon Stone, BBC. There's some pictures being posted by the club, I think, about Aymeric Laporte on the grass. How is he, and how far away is he from being...
Yesterday, it was the first time we trained with the team 15 minutes, some part of the training with us, today again, and the rest individually, and he's getting better. He feels good, and he's, I think next week he will complete all the training sessions with us.
In your mind, do you have a point where he's likely to be available for selection again?
I don't know. Yeah, a little bit. You suggest, you think about it, will be these days in these games, but I think he will dictate depends on how we see him, does he feels. We cannot forget he was 4 months or more than 4 months out, and it's his time. It's not now. He's okay training with us. The day after can play 90 minutes and 90 minutes. So everything needs his process. But the important, he didn't make a step back during these 4 or 5 months. The same case as Leroy, and that's good, really good, and incredible. Grateful for the physios and especially the guys who were with him this time.
And could I just ask you about Eric Garcia, for an 18-year-old to play in central defence, which is one of the most responsible positions on the pitch? How do you feel he's adapted to that over the last couple of weeks?
Last season, when he played a few games in the Carabao Cup, he was really well, and this season as well. He's a guy, he doesn't make mistakes. He's so clever, and he's intelligent in his movements. It's not easy for him playing the left side because he's right foot. So I'm not a nice guy because I give you opportunity. You should be comfortable playing the right foot. No, playing the left is not easy, but he's solving so well. And he's a guy who doesn't make mistakes, and he's intelligent, so intelligent. And he helped us in this period with a lot of problems that we have, because at the end, Nico had a little bit problems, and John is coming back, so we have just Fernandinho, and he helped us, in these games.
Pep, you mentioned Otamendi there. What's the situation? Ederson was ill, Otamendi out in the Everton game.
Yeah, Ederson was sick. Wake up the day of the game very bad, and today training, he feels better. And Nico is getting better too. For tomorrow is not able, but he's not fit or ready to play, but he's getting better. I think in the next days can be with the squad again.
And Port Vale, League 2 side, 10th in the table in League 2. They'll have 8,000 supporters with them. It's a big, big day. I'm sure you've done your homework on them. How do you assess the way they are, the way they play, and what do you expect them to do at the Etihad?
Will be more than welcome. It's nice. That's why this country is the best, because play, one team, 8,000 people come here. Just can happen in, I would say, here, and important, all the competitions or the leagues is always how they support their own clubs, and try to I see few this afternoon. I will spend more time to see them, and tomorrow going to decide the team and the way we're going to play.
Just a final one. You said before then that after 2 winning seasons, 2 great seasons that you've had, it's normal to lose more games. Do you have to then accept an element of failure in this season then? Obviously with Liverpool being so far away, but the cups are still, you have plenty to play for, but is there an element that you have to mentally accept a bit of failure after 2 winning seasons?
I accept everything, my friend. Absolutely everything. Normally I fail every year. Since I won 6 titles in a row in Barcelona first season, the years after those I was a failure. So I accept it, no problem.
Pep, Fred Caldeira, Esporte Interativo Brasil. Back to Fernandinho, specifically about the season, what he has shown that convinced you that he can stay longer in this club?
No, he has not to convince me to stay longer. He convinced me the day one, 3 years and a half before, when we started to work together. So he doesn't do anything special to convince me. It's just the age, his desire, how he's going to finish the season, and many things. But I know he knows exactly the opinion that we have about what he has done in this club for many years. He's one of the greatest players this club had in his whole history.
And tactically, how do you look at his future? Is he a defensive line player now? He can come back to be a defensive midfielder?
Right now, I don't think, especially because we have right now 2 central defenders. In the toughest schedule this season, we didn't have many other options. And again, his disponibility and desire to do it well is incredible for me.
And about his contract, do you expect to have good news soon?
I said before, so it depends on the club.
Hello, Pep. Andy Hampson from PA. You were speaking a couple of weeks ago about how tough the schedule was going to be, and you mentioned players having to go to the fridge. Now you've come through that difficult spell of league games. How do you think the players dealt with it? Was it as tough as you expected, or did they cope with it better than you expected?
Everything is tough, and not just for us. Just take a look about how many injuries and tough injuries in this period for the Premier League players in all the clubs. But like I said before, nobody cares. The next season will be more than 50 injuries in this period again. So that is what it is.
Okay guys, call in embargo please, 10:30 this evening.